Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 090. Range 5,700 yards.
Bridge, combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 090. Range 5,700 yards. I designate contact Able. Time 18:34.
Contact Able now bears 088. Range 5,500 yards.
Lookouts. Anything at 087.
I see nothing. Bearing 087.
Contact Able now
Radio,
bears
Captain. Send a report to Convoy Commodore. Jansen has unknown contact on radar, left flank of the convoy.
Contact Able coming in much more strongly. I evaluate as a definite contact.
Captain I. Officer of the deck, set general quarters.
Set general quarters. Aye. General quarters. General quarters. All hands man your battle stations. Set condition zebra throughout the ship.
Contact Able.
Stern depth charge detail manned and ready. Main battery reports manned and ready. Engineering officer watch reports engineering manned and ready. Zebra set. 4 boilers online. Max speed 32 knots. Electric plant split. All fire pumps online.
Very well.
Contact Able now bears 079. Range 4,900 yards.
Hockey reporting.
Hockey, this is Bloodhound. Proceed to engage.
Roger. Hockey engaging. Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey regained contact. Able. Bearing 068. Range 4,400 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. Able. Last known bearing 068. Range 4,400 yards from Bloodhound.
Combat sonar. Investigating arc 113 through 203. Sonar I.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey made a depth charge attack on contact. Able. Sonar reports sounds of a sinking submarine.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 150. Range 3,900 yards.
Bridge, combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 150. Range 3,900 yards. I designate contact Baker.
Rudder amidships. Combat sonar. Contact Baker. Now bears 12. Wire 1. Range 30 yards. Contact increasing 2. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Baker. Fire last 3. Bearing 121. Last range 30 yards.
Bridge, starboard lookout. Oil slick bearing 012. Bridge, starboard lookout. Oil slick bearing 012.
Sonar. This is the captain. Perform active search. 3372067. Active search 337 through 067. Aye, sir.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 300. Range 6,300 yards.
Bridge, combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 300. Range 6,300 yards. I designate contact Charlie.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple lost contact. Charlie, last known at bearing 294. Range 5,200 yards from Bloodhound.
Hockey, this is Bloodhound. Maneuver to station. Bearing 189. Range 3,000 yards from...
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 075. Range 6,300 yards.
Bridge, combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 075. Range 6,300 yards. I designate contact Dog.
now has sonar contact. Dog, bearing 048. Range 6,100 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey now has sonar contact. Dog, bearing 046. Range 6,300 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. Dog, last known bearing 046. Range 6,300 yards from Bloodhound.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple now has sonar contact. Dog, bearing 051. Range 5,200 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple lost contact. Charlie, last known at bearing 297. Range 6,400 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple now has sonar contact. Dog, bearing 053. Range 5,300 yards from Bloodhound. Maple, reporting.
Maple, this is Bloodhound. Maneuver to new station.
Roger. Maple maneuvering to new station. Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple now has sonar contact. Dog, bearing 053. Range 5,500 yards from Bloodhound.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 243. Range 4,900 yards.
Bridge combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 243. Range 4,900 yards. I designate contact easy.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. Easy. Last known bearing 267. Range 4,000 yards from Bloodhound.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 060. Range 6,200 yards.
Bridge combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 060. Range 6,200 yards. I designate contact Fox. Time 19:1.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey made a depth charge attack on contact. Easy. Sonar reports sounds of a sinking submarine.
Maple, this is Bloodhound. Proceed to engage.
Roger. Maple engaging.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey made
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple lost contact. Dog, last known at bearing 041. Range 6,300 yards from Bloodhound.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 234. Range 9,200 yards.
Bridge combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 234. Range 9,200 yards. I designate contact George. Time 19:7.
Combat sonar. Contact. Fox. Now bears 062. Range 400 yards. Bearing steady.
Hockey, this is Bloodhound. Proceed to engage contact. George.
Roger. Hockey engaging contact. George. Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. George. Last known bearing 238. Range 7,700 yards from Bloodhound.
Maple, this is Bloodhound. Take new station in convoy screen.
Roger. Maple taking station.
Combat sonar. Contact. Fox. Now bears 054. Range 600 yards. Wake on left cut.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 316. Range 5,500 yards.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple now has sonar contact. Fox, bearing 286. Range 100 yards from Bloodhound.
Bridge combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 316. Range 5,500 yards. I designate contact Cow. Time 19:12.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple now has sonar contact. Box, bearing 289, range 500 yards from Bloodhound.
Sonar, this is the captain. Perform active search. 2, 6, 8, 2, 3, 5, 8. Active search. 2, 6, 8, through 3, 5, 8. Aye, sir.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey made a depth charge attack on contact. Dog, unknown results.
Combat sonar.
Contact. How? Now bears.
3, 0, 8.
Fire 1.
200 yards.
Bearing steady. Fire 2. Fire 3. Combat sonar. Lost contact. How? Last bearing. 3, 0, 7. Last range. 100 yards.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. George, last known bearing. 2, 1, 5. Range, 8,100 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey regained contact. George, bearing 2, 1, 4. Range, 8,100 yards from Bloodhound.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple regain contact. Box, bearing 139, range 4,100 yards from Bloodhound.
Combat sonar. Regain contact. How? Bearing 1, 2, 6. Range 500 yards.
Contact item now bears 188. Range.
Maple, reporting.
Combat
This is
sonar.
Bloodhound.
Regain
Regains
contact.
contact.
How?
Item.
Bearing 3, 0, 3. Range 800 yards.
Roger. Maple engaging contact. Item.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey made a depth charge attack on contact. Dog, unknown results.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple regain contact. Item. Bearing 209, range 7,500 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple lost contact. Item. Last known at bearing 228, range 7,200 yards from Bloodhound.
All engines ahead standard.
All engines ahead standard. Aye, sir.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 088. Range 3,500 yards.
Bridge, combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 088. Range 3,500 yards. I designate contact King. Time 19:30.
Combat sonar. Contact. Jig. Now bears 0,
4, 0. Range 900 yards. Wake on right cut.
Hockey, this is Bloodhound. Proceed to engage
Combat sonar. Lost contact. Jig. Last bearing 0, 3, 5. Last range 800
Fire.
yards.
Roger. Hockey engaging contact. Jig.
Stand by to fire. Fire. On target. Fire. 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 On target. Fire. 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 Fire.
All engines ahead standard.
All engines ahead standard. Aye, sir.
Lost contact.
Fire 1.
How? Last bearing 319.
Fire 2.
Last range 4,700
Fire
yards.
3. Combat sonar. Contact. King. Now bears 138. Range 30 yards.
Bearings drifting right.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple regain contact. Item. Bearing 252, range 9,000 yards from Bloodhound.
Combat sonar. Lost contact.
King.
All escorts. Contact item has most likely been sunk by Maple. Well done.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey regained contact. Jig. Bearing 279. Range 1,800 yards from Bloodhound.
Rudder. 25 degrees right.
Rudder, 25
Bloodhound,
degrees right.
this is Hockey.
Aye, sir.
Hockey made a depth charge attack on contact. Jig.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple lost contact. How? Last known at bearing 327. Range 4,200 yards from Bloodhound.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 198. Range 5,700 yards.
Bridge, combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 198. Range 5,700 yards. I designate contact. Love. Time 1937. Sonar, combat. Investigate arc 231 through 321.
Combat sonar. Investigating arc. 2, 3, 1 through 3, 2, 1. Sonar I.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 226. Range 100 yards.
Bridge, combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 226. Range 100 yards. I designate contact Mike. Time 1941.
Lost contact. Mike. Last bearing 245. Last range 200 yards.
Bridge, starboard lookout. Object 1/3 to the horizon. Bearing 258. Appears to be periscope feather.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. George. Last known bearing 265. Range 9,400 yards from Bloodhound.
Sonar, this is the captain. Perform active search. 1982288.
Active search 198 through 2. Combat sonar.
New sonar contact. Bearing 282. Range 600 yards.
Sonar, combat. Investigate arc 227 through 317.
Combat sonar.
Surface radar has regained contact. Love. Bearing 216. Range 4,200 yards.
Combat sonar. Lost contact. Fire 1. Last bearing 046. Fire 2. Last range 300 yards. Combat sonar. Fire 3. Contact. Mike. Bearing 210.
Range
100 yards.
combat sonar. Lost contact. Mike. Last bearing
210. Last range 100 yards.
Bridge, starboard lookout. Oil slick. Bearing 215.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple regain contact. King, bearing 264. Range 1,200 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple regain contact. Love, bearing 234. Range 2,900 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple lost contact. Love, last known at
Fire.
bearing
Fire.
234. Range 2,800 yards from Bloodhound.
Fire. On target. Stand by to fire.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey made a depth charge attack
Fire.
on contact. Jig. Unknown results.
Combat
Fire.
sonar. Contact. King. Now bears 291. Range 1,600 yards. Bearings
Fire.
drifting right. Hockey combat sonar. Contact. Mike. Now bears 063. Range 200 yards. Weak propeller noise.
Hockey, this is Bloodhound. Proceed to engage contact. Dog.
Roger. Hockey engaging contact.
Dog. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Mike. Fire last bearing 063. Last range 200 yards.
Stand by to fire.
Fire 3. Combat sonar. Regain contact. King. Bearing 028. Range 2,000 yards. Sonar. This is the captain. Perform active search. 3382068. Active search. 338 through 0. Combat sonar. Contact. King. Now bears 023. Range 2,000 yards. Weak propeller noise.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple lost contact. Love, last known at bearing 002. Range 1,000 yards from Bloodhound.
Combat sonar. Contact. King. Now bears 018. Range 2,100 yards. Combat sonar. Contact. King. Now bears 017. Range 2,100 yards. Weak propeller noise.
Maple, this is Bloodhound. You're clear to engage.
Roger, Maple engaging.
All escorts, contact Love has most likely been sunk by Maple. Good job.
Combat sonar. Contact. Dog. Now bears 0, 3, 2. Range 2,900 yards. Bearing steady.
Hockey, this is Bloodhound. Maneuver to station. Bearing 060. Range 3,000 yards. From guide.
Combat sonar. Contact. Dog. Now bears 0, 3, 3. Range 2,500 yards. Bearing steady.
Roger. Hockey maneuvering to station. Bearing 060. Range 3,000 yards. From guide.
Fire 1. Fire 2. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Dog. Fire 3. Last bearing 053. Last range 300 yards. Combat sonar. Regain contact. Dog. Bearing 196. Range 30 yards. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Dog. Last bearing 21778. Range 100 yards. Very strong propeller noise. Combat sonar. Lost contact. 2. Dog. Last bearing 04. Fire 5. Last range 30 yards.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. Jig. Last known bearing 164. Range 600 yards. From Bloodhound.
Bridge, starboard lookout. Oil slick bearing 160.
Fire 1. This is Maple. Maple lost contact. Mike. Last known at bearing 158. Range 2,700 yards. From Bloodhound.
Fire 2. Lost contact. Fox. Last bearing 259. Last range 100 yards.
Bloodhound.
Fire
Hockey.
3.
Hockey now has sonar contact. Fox. Bearing 070. Range 100 yards. From Bloodhound.
Combat sonar. Regain contact. Jig. Bearing 142. Range 900 yards. Sonar. This is the captain. Investigate arc 0992189.
Bridge, poor lookout. Oil slick. Bearing 059.
Combat sonar. Contact. Jig. Now bears 122. Range 900 yards. Contact increasing depth. Investigating arc 099 through 1.
Bridge, poor lookout. Oil slick. Bearing 085.
The enemy is retreating. All escorts, return to formation and resume sonar responsibility.
That was one hell of a fight. The enemy tried time after time, but they could not penetrate our defenses. We protected the convoy well. Most importantly, all our precious cargo made it through. We really overwhelmed the U-boats today. The combined threat of sonar and radar gave them nowhere to hide. Early detection was key. The radar was a powerful early warning tool that gave us the upper hand in the encounter. All things considered, things are going really well. I wish I could be turning over every ship in the convoy to the Royal Navy, but the Germans picked off a few. Still, it could have been much worse.
Good morning, Captain. Please be seated. Captain, you were assigned a large convoy for that crossing. We were as surprised as you were to see so many U-boats along your path. Several ships in your convoy were sunk. We need to do better. You and your crew performed superbly this time, with many U-boats sunk or disabled. You and your crew have done well. You have earned my personal respect. I know future missions will have equally favorable outcomes. I can say that if I had more captains like you, the Germans would soon run out of U-boats and maybe we could shorten this bloody war. For the next few months, I do not see Germans taking it easy. So you and Jansen will be out there again many more times, doing what you do best.
Alright, well, the Admiral finally said something different then. So we finished our career with an A. For a moment there, I thought the whole game was just going to perpetually go on and on and on. Just like a bug out or something. Anyway, so we got a major victory, and there's our final score. 97 convoy ships lost. We sank 164 submarines and rescued about 3,574 survivors. Just going through the individual battle statistics, about 33 battles in the entire game. So yeah, well, there we have it, the non-Iron Man campaign playthrough of Destroyer the U-Boat Hunter. And if anybody's wondering, no, I will not be playing this game again on Iron Man, or any version for that matter. So let me give my review. It's pretty critical. On the upshot, this game is probably the closest we will come in the 2020s to a game like Destroyer Command. It puts you in the role of the captain of a fleet destroyer and has you hunting for U-boats and directing convoy escorts. The game does a pretty good job of making you feel like you're conning an actual ship and not playing with a little toy destroyer in a bathtub or something. You move to different stations, you analyze information given to you by the sonar, the radar, and the ship's plot in the CIC. In a way, the game mechanics play similarly to Carrier Command 2, but on a smaller scale, because all you need to focus on is sinking submarines, as opposed to directing aircraft. Now, taking in reports from your crew and escorting other ships really does give you the feeling that you're a small part of a larger picture and not this omniscient gaming overlord that so many of these tactical games make it seem like. Most of the time, you're focused on commanding your ship alone, and you're just one person on a ship that has hundreds of crew on board, although the actual crew members that you see are just standing there perpetually in place. One thing I hate is that so many naval games out there make it feel like the player, does absolutely everything. As a result, it breaks immersion, and this game, on the other hand, really has you specifically in the role of a captain, which is something really rare in the world of naval-themed video games. The overall game mechanics of hunting the U-boats with your sonar and radar, plotting out the contacts on the charts, and making your approach are fairly realistic and tense. More or less. The only thing that denotes a contact there is a little X on the chart. And this game makes good use of what TV tropes refers to as quote-unquote sensor suspense. Again, if you didn't know what you were looking for, then all you have is you know that you're moving towards a U-boat and hopefully you're going to try and sink it. And that's where my positives end. Let's get on with the problems. I started off really excited about this game, but after playing a number of missions, I quickly realized that this game is just multiple missed opportunities. The biggest issue is that this game is very monotonous. It's a one-trick pony. I mean, just look back on the videos. You do not do anything else in this game besides sail your ship around, you drop depth charges on U-boats. If a U-boat surfaces, you shoot at it with 5-inch guns, and you direct the escorts around, and that's it. What do you do in this game? You sink U-boats. In the next mission, guess what you're going to do? You're going to sink more U-boats, and you keep on sinking U-boats throughout the entire game. Now consider that there are over 30 videos in this campaign playthrough, and all of them were just convoy battles, sinking U-boats. The gameplay never changes. Now, this is pretty sad because the game had the potential to be really interesting if they just add more variety to it and not try to recreate the movie Greyhound. So the gameplay scenarios only vary insofar in that, maybe the convoy is a different size. Maybe they're spread out. Sometimes you encounter icebergs. You have to dodge around those. The weather and the time of day is different. Sometimes you have air support and a different number of escorts with you. But the core gameplay is just sinking U-boats. The game feels really unfinished, like a technology demonstrator that started out as a good idea but never really went anywhere beyond that. The dynamic campaign of the game does not really feel very dynamic, but rather, instead, it feels like a series of just randomized missions. You're still sinking U-boats, but each mission is just one of a few variations. So there's no indication whatsoever of how much time is elapsing throughout the campaign. There's no indication of how the war is progressing and how things are changing in the Battle of the Atlantic. It's like the game is perpetually stuck in a single nondescript point in time in World War II in the Atlantic. Now, in all fairness, it has to be understood that there's a need to balance historical accuracy with fun gameplay. Too much of the former means that the game will be mind-numbingly boring, because that's pretty much what convoy escort duty across the Atlantic was. It would essentially amount to days upon days of sheer boredom and a couple moments of pure terror. Now, in reality, not every escort sank dozens upon dozens or hundreds of submarines, and not every convoy was attacked by U-boat wolf packs. Indeed, recalling Norman Freeman's writing, historically the ratio of false to real submarine contacts was as high as 10-1 in some cases. And most of the time, these escorts were trying to sink non-existent submarines. Most depth charge attacks on submarines were ineffective, and success only awarded the most determined attackers. However, the amount of deck space for weapons and magazine sizes actually limited the number of attacks that could be made. Now, that's the historical realism of it, but given the amount of depth charges you fire in a single battle, you probably exhaust your entire magazine by the middle of the battle. Conversely, if you have too much emphasis on fun gameplay, then the game will feel very artificial and arcadey. Now, regarding that, the game gives you fairly limited control over the depth charges, since you can only choose between 3 different depth charge settings and 2 different patterns, narrow and wide. Similarly, when a U-boat surfaces, for whatever reason, you only can shoot your 5-inch 38 caliber guns at them. You have no use of the 40mm guns or the 20mm guns or anything else. But the game likewise gives you unlimited ammo for the 5-inch guns as well. Now, some people have a problem with how inaccurate the 5-inch guns are in the game, but I think it is fairly realistic. Now, remember that this was during a time when ballistic computers were all electromechanical analog machines, which were like the size of like a table or a cabinet. They needed to compensate for a ship's roll, pitch, and heave in the ocean, and while they were accurate for the time, because US fire control was probably the best of any nation at the time, these computers and the accuracy of these weapons was not laser pinpoint accurate in practice. So the fact that you can fire off dozens of 5-inch shells in the game and not achieve a single direct hit on a U-boat in that particular battle, to me, is not really a break from reality. Now, even today, if you look at things like guided weapons, like missiles, for example, those are still far more accurate than guns. And even guns today that are operating under digital fire control, a missile is still more accurate than they are. Now, further regarding the historical accuracy of the game, it was wise of the developers to not use a real Fletcher-class destroyer, but rather a hull number that was skipped over in real life. This avoided the issue of misappropriating a historical naval vessel. Now, the problem is that the Fletcher destroyers, vast majority of them, saw their action in the Pacific. The sole exception was USS Caps. But therein lies another problem, because the Fletchers are fleet destroyers and they're not really purpose-built anti-submarine warfare escorts. It does seem like the developer really wanted to recreate the technology of USS Kidd, which was used as a reference for the game design, which again, Greyhound, the movie, did a similar thing. But again, it's a missed opportunity, because they could have just used a destroyer escort museum ship for reference, right? There's the Cannon-class USS Slater, or even the Edsall-class USS Stewart on display right now. Now, both of these ships conducted convoy duty in the Atlantic during the war. Since no fleet destroyers had ahead-throwing weapons, it's another missed opportunity to showcase the history of the smaller cousins to the fleet destroyers, the stalwart destroyer escorts. Furthermore, there seems to be no progression in the operational tactics or technology in the game. The other escorts don't receive any upgrades to their weapons or sensors, and neither do you. There's no hedgehogs or mousetraps or squid depicted. There's no upgraded sonars or radars. You're just perpetually stuck in ships that never change throughout the game. And as a result, the game feels like a total grind. It's a slog through 9 missions to the end with no concrete conclusion or progression. And as far as we know, we'll just keep going out and escorting convoys to the end of time. Now, it's easy to look back with historical hindsight and say this, but the men who fought the war probably felt that it would go on and on forever at times, I'm sure. But again, that's where the line between historical realism and having the benefit of hindsight to inform our knowledge of the game comes in, and you need to balance out that with entertainment. Unfortunately, at the time I'm recording this, as of March of 2025, it seems like development and support of this game has been completely abandoned. The last update on Steam for this game was in April of 2024, nearly a year ago. And even then, that was only an optimization update. It was nothing substantial. It didn't do anything to change the gameplay. From what I have heard, the developers, Iron Dog Studios, actually focused on making their next game right now, Sherman Commander, which is a tank sim. So, I don't know, I wonder if they'll come back and update this game. But at this point, I think all the hype about Destroyer has completely died out. I think people are pretty much abandoned playing it as well. In fact, I've only seen 1 or 2 Let's Players on YouTube that have actually completed the campaign for this game. In many ways, the game feels almost like an iPad game, to be honest. I mean, the controls of the game are fairly simple, and the game mechanics are not terribly deep when you look at it. It's as if they, if they simplified it even more and made it perpetually go on, then this game would literally be like one of those endless runner mobile games like Subway Surfers or Snake IO or something, right? Those kind of pointless games that kids play on their devices when they don't want to listen to you. I mean, I saw my middle school students do it all the time when I was a teacher. I mean, they don't learn jack shit, and they're no smarter for it anyway, so... And I kind of realized in a way that as I was discussing, the Destroyer history, based on my research, this game basically became almost like sludge content. It's like whatever was occurring on screen in the background in the game was completely irrelevant to whatever my historical discussion was. It was just there to kind of keep your attention or something. So I think this game could have been far better if it had more time in development and took place in the Pacific Theater with more variety to the gameplay. We could have been escorting a carrier task force, providing anti-air gunfire and, shore gunfire support for an amphibious assault or something, or tracking down Japanese submarines in the Pacific. There's all these different kinds of things we could have been doing, but nope, they chose the Atlantic and just convoy escort. There also needs to be more historical context given for what is going on in this game and how it relates to the progression of the war itself. That would provide the player with more motivation for continuing on with playing it. Alas, there are no alternate ships to play in the game, there's no different weapons or sensors to use, there's no historical context to discover. It's just you in this Fletcher-class destroyer hunting U-boats, mission after mission after mission. Simply put, the game gets very boring very quickly. I thought it was going to get better, it never did. You play mission 1, and you've played the rest of them, essentially. So overall, I would give this game a pretty poor 3 out of 10. It's a good idea with some decent mechanics, but with poor execution. The game plays the same regardless of how far along you are, and unfortunately, it doesn't contain any other content to inspire any deeper historical discussion, despite the attention to detail it gave to some of the mechanics. Well, anyway, there is my playthrough of Destroyer the U-Boat Hunter. So to be honest, I'm pretty relieved and tired of the game and glad to be done with it, so I'll be getting this off of my computer soon. Anyway, there you have it, folks. Well, take care, everyone.